ain't gonna lie. I've been waiting to talk about this McDonald's situation where basically the McDonald's girl had killed her manager. Cause I work at McDonald's, so this is how I feel about the situation. One, what I'm hearing is the girl who stabbed her manager, she stabbed somebody when she worked at Taco Bell before. So she already got a background with stabbing motherfuckers. But then again, I do understand, like, because I be dealing with these managers too. They ass be rude, but ain't gonna lie. Not rude enough for, like, me, in my opinion, to actually stab they ass. Like, if anything, I'm gonna have an attitude. And then they ass gonna try to send me home. But they ass ain't gonna send me home because I'm not going nowhere. But anyways, yeah, I just feel like I don't even know how the fuck she got hired at McDonald's anyway, because if you have a background, you feel me, of doing that, I don't even know how your ass got hired. So I do understand both, like, point of views. I definitely do, but neither one of them was right. The manager should have never been rude. She should never been sending her home. She don't know what that girl got going on. And then I understand from the girl side too, like, she battered on shit. She probably felt like, bitch, I don't got shit else to lose now, bitch. You ain't giving me my money for my days. And then, like, I seen videos of her, like, talking to herself and shit about somebody wanting to have sex with her or something. So I guess I don't know if she got schizophrenia or not, but you feel me, like, she battled on a lot of shit. They probably told her head to kill her. They probably was like, kill that bitch. She playing with you, kill that bitch. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely understand both POVs though.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. Remember, I'm trying to get as many subscribers as possible so that we could do a lot more. So help me by spreading the word. Like, subscribe, share this channel, and leave a comment below. So that video I just played, I'll get back to it, but I just don't get people. But, I digress. Welcome back to the Marc Perspective, where we don't just talk, we dissect, we challenge, and we reflect. And today's episode is pretty troubling. It's about a tragedy that unfolded in East Point, I believe it was East Point, Michigan, where a McDonald's manager, Jennifer Harris, who was a mother of 6, was fatally stabbed by a co-worker, 26-year-old, I think her name was, what it says here, Afeni Badu Muhammad. And, this story is really sad because, and so this incident happened July 10th, and Harris reportedly sent Muhammad home early after some type of disagreement over work performance. And, later on, she came back and she came back with a knife, armed, and she stabbed Miss Harris about 15 times. And luckily, somebody from the drive-thru witnessed the incident and fired a warning shot, and then detained Miss Muhammad until authorities arrived. So good for that, and that was a good Samaritan. Good for him. So think about it. Workplace dispute escalated into a fatal act of violence. And the funny part is this isn't even her first incident stabbing. So I have to ask myself, what is going on with the young folks today? This lady, they're becoming more brazen now. Like a couple of days ago, she posted videos on Instagram talking about, Ms. Harris bullying her. And then I laugh at the people. So that video earlier, this girl who, I don't understand, the talking of smacking of the lips or sucking the teeth or whatever, if that's cute. And that's not cute. First of all, she needs to be doing her job. And most of the time, there's social media policies, company policies, where it forbids. And when it comes to that type of incident, she should not have been on the phone on Instagram or YouTube or whatever she was on talking about this incident. This is something that the company needs to handle. She should not have been. She should have been going to work. But instead, by saying, I understand because of bullying and so forth. And it is so hard for people to understand when you're a leader, you have to make tough decisions. You have to make good decisions. Now, I don't know how the discussion went, but I do know that a lot of these young people, they're not really doing their job. Their work performance is deplorable. And most of the time, most managers who work hard to get into that position, because believe it or not, to get into a leadership role is not that easy. You got to go through a series of interviews and then training and so forth just to make sure that you are the right candidate for that position. And so when you're working with people and you're trying to coach them up or coach them out, and when you're dealing with a lot of these young people, and I don't understand, especially when it comes to our young black people, not saying that white people or Hispanics and so forth don't do the same, but for some reason, young black kids feel like they should be hired. They don't have to do anything, but yet they want to get paid. And that's the part that baffles me, that there's no ambition, no goals. They're just there. And if there's no room for growth, there's so much room for growth. At my age, there's still room for growth. But for these young people, it seems like there's no room for growth, And, it's sad because now what does it say about workplace culture in low wage environment? Like, 26 years old, working at McDonald's, the pay isn't that great there. And, when you're dealing with low wage and frustration and everything like that, but then you have to ask yourself, what are you doing to grow your flow of money? Like, what are you doing to increase your salary? That's where hard work, determination, education comes in, and even though colleges whereby you go to college, you get that degree, and companies are still being flaky with hiring people because they need you to have X amount of years of experience. But I still think education plays a key role, like trade school, something like that, where people can succeed. And when you find yourself just not growing, but working at McDonald's as just a fry cooker, just handing out French fries or standing at the drive-through, you have to sit down and you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing in my life? But what happens is a lot of these young kids get frustrated and mad because things aren't going their way. And she sounded like she had some issues. Like, I don't know, the girl that I played in the video, she might be right about saying she was schizophrenic, but she also needs to really look into some education herself. But when you're dealing with people like this and they're not making the money that they should, and now you have a boss who's holding you accountable whereby, you're just not going to come to work and do whatever you want. A lot of them get frustrated. And what kills me is the people that support this girl and feel like she's in the right when she's clearly in the wrong. It once again, it baffles me.
Yo, the shorty that unallowed her manager at McDonald's, check this out, right? It was a message. She had 6 kids, the manager did, or whatever. And just because you going through shit does not give you the fucking right to mistreat anybody just because you going through shit. Because shorty was going through her own shit. That's why she working at McDonald's. This is why it's so important to treat people with kindness. There be so many black people, right, that get in these authoritative positions and think they can just do whatever or say whatever to people any type of way. And then you don't know the backstory behind somebody that's working with you each and every day. She not showing up on her off days for nothing. If you see that she fucking up somewhere, it was up to you at that time to bring her up to speed, to let her know what was going on and why you was sending her home and shit. She need her funds too. You know, some people practice patience better than others. You don't never know what somebody gonna put you through. Depending on the circumstances, stop sleeping on motherfuckers just because. You want to count somebody else out just because. You don't have no idea who you fucking with. And Shorty showed that. I'm not justifying her actions, I'm just speaking the truth. Yes, she deserves prison time behind her actions because she knew better. But she also let y'all know some people already dead inside. You don't know their story. Stop fucking with people, yo. Stop fucking with them. Before you end up like the dead bird she was carrying in that fucking video. That's what she was telling y'all niggas. Keep on getting beside yourself just because you think you can. Then you got jokers on here like just get another job. Y'all don't know her circumstances. Y'all know how hard it was for her to even get a fucking McDonald's job. How dare y'all try to tell somebody what the fuck they should have just done? And you don't know what it's like to walk out fucking shoes. Y'all niggas are pathetic as shit. Leave people the fuck alone before you get something you ain't want to ask for.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know if y'all heard about the story about the McDonald's employee who used to get bullied by her manager, and she ended up coming back with a knife and you did like kill that. While I'm not endorsing murder, while I do not support that shit, same thing with the Louis Maglione guy. Like I don't support that. I don't endorse murder. However, what I will say is let this be a message and a lesson on how to treat people. Because sometimes in the workforce or even in school, maybe you have some teachers that just, they want to bully their students. Maybe you have some managers that think that just because they're a manager, they can talk to you anyhow. Bro, you never know what somebody is going through. You never know what somebody's got in their mind or what they're really capable of. So let this be a message, bro. I'm not saying she's a hero or anything, but let this be a message to treat everybody with kindness and respect.
That manager was not the only victim. I'm sorry to say it, and I'm sorry she lost her life. Nobody should lose their life. But I just want to say, a lot of managers take advantage of people. They do, especially if they know if you need the job, especially if they know you got responsibilities and bills, and they know you can't get another job. All type of stuff. They will bully you. They will boss you around. They will make it unfair for you. They're going to tell you to do everything because they know you're going to do it because you need the job. And managers do bully you. They really, really do. There's managers that tell you to do everything and sit there, watch, and won't do nothing. There's managers that put some people to do easier stuff and some people not to. And then there's managers that send you home because they're mad at you or they don't like you and stuff like that. That is so true. And you don't know what people was going through, you know, at home, their life, all type of stuff. And now they're coming to work and y'all making it even harder for them. I'm not saying what she did was right, which she was wrong. She should have never took the lady's life. But why are you at work treating people unfairly, treating them rudely, like messing with their money and stuff like that? Like, people got bills, people got a living, and there's people saying, oh yeah, she should have got another job. Do y'all know how hard it is in this economy to get a job? It's so hard to find a job. Literally, it's not easy at all. And these managers know this, and that's why they do this to these people, because they know it's hard to find a job and they know they need the job.
Yes, both the manager and the employee was wrong, but she was a bully. Kids kill their bullies all the time. Ain't this black boy going to jail because he done killed his fucking bully? Stop bullying in a fucking workplace. Because bitches probably ain't got no fucking where to go. And you sending them home and shit, bitch. She probably was like, fuck it, this my last straw. I ain't got shit else to live for. Like, you gone. Like, it be that fucking quick. You don't know what bitches be at in a mental. Leave hoes alone. And mind your fucking business.
So as you can see, I posted some videos of people talking and so forth, and I just shake my head sometimes at some of the things that I hear, which is really outrageous. But you know, once again, I digress. I truly have to laugh about it. But, but let's talk about the narrative floating around that justifies murder because the victim, Jennifer Harris, was allegedly a bully. So now pause with me. We're not debating whether Harris was difficult, because I really don't know. We're not dismissing the frustrations Afeni Muhammad expressed, because she's done some videos expressing her frustration. Working in a low wage, fast food joint can be frustrating, especially when you didn't put your best foot forward as you were going through school and things like that, to try to achieve the highest level. But because we oppress our own selves and we choose to pick jobs that we feel is dehumanizing or toxic, like a McDonald's, because, going home, I'd rather be a manager at McDonald's because you make a little bit more, and even that's not great. And I get it. I get it, because these low wage jobs, they pay less and ask for a lot. But with these corporations like Starbucks, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Dunkin' Donuts really pay their workers terrible. However, they believe in a pay structure where you get more as you grow within the company. It's a way to invest internally. So the more you invest in the company, the more the company's supposed to invest in you. I think some methods is pretty wrong, because I think some things, like especially if it's an internal hire, I think your record, your credibility should speak for itself instead of you going through a whole process as if you're an external hire. So, so I get those frustrations too. But calling someone a bully doesn't justify taking their life. This line of reasoning doesn't elevate Afeni, not to me. It diminishes our collective understanding of accountability, justice, and empathy. Okay? It turns trauma into license. If we normalize deadly retaliation for feeling mistreated, then we've stopped advocating for change and started endorsing chaos. Okay? To me, this is what accountability should look like. Report abusive behavior. Demand structural reform in workplaces. Champion better mental health resources and conflict resolution. And let me tell you, there's a lot of jobs right now that have those resources out there for situations like this. They have those resources where, and most of it is free. So you could best believe that companies are more aware of these things, and they're taking those steps to help their employees through difficult times. And finally, walk out, speak out, but don't stab out. Bottom line, Afeni claimed she was creating peace, but peace isn't forged in blood. It's built through dialogue, resistance, and, hard choices, like I said, not fatal ones. If we're serious about justice, we should warn Jennifer, demand answers about workplace conditions, and ask why Afeni's history, including a prior stabbing conviction, didn't flag the need for intervention. That's the conversation worth having, because, this should have came up in a background check. So, there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, because she was convicted for stabbing. So she has, she's demonstrated, violence in her past, and she wasn't stable. Like I said to the girl earlier, she said she was schizophrenic, which is probably true. So, man, this is not a great situation, because this mother just left 6 kids. 6 kids just lost their mother because, and I'm sorry to say, somebody wanted to do things their way. We and this is the truth. Young black people, and I'm not just saying it's just young black people. It's just that we do the more complaining and playing victim. Like what Afeni's doing. She's playing the victim now. Oh, woe is me. I was being bullied. No, you were being, you were asked to do your job, take on some responsibilities. You know, I apologize that, you know, the pay isn't great, but it doesn't mean you need to be stabbing and killing people because things don't go your way. And that's the problem I said with black people. We become violent. We become dangerous, you know, to the point where if things don't go our way, we're stabbing and shooting. Like, we can't sit down and discuss things. We can't sit down and especially if it's a black person that's in charge. That's the real problem, because if it's a black person that's a leader, then the blacks who don't want to work or feel like they should come to a job and be lazy, they expect that black person is going to let them slide. And when we don't let them slide, then we want to become violent towards them. We call them, they will call all kind of names, Uncle Tom, you know, selling out and everything, just because they won't allow you to do what you want to do at the workplace. Everybody gets paid. It's just that the person who's your boss did a little bit more, got a little bit more education to hold that position. I mean, that person is in charge of that whole entire operation, and they deserve that much respect. So we should respect this lady, Miss Harris, who just passed away from a girl who should not have been working there. And for a real conversation to happen about workplace conditions and so forth, but also about holding people accountable. Whether you like it or not, hold them accountable. When you get murdered, there shouldn't be people talking about, well, she's a bully. No, this person is basically sick. And I have no excuses. I understand she must have been frustrated because she was going home. But if you're not performing, if you are not doing the job, if you're constantly arguing with the boss because you want to do things your way and you're not performing, then yes, you should go home. They don't need you then. That's the bottom line.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on, like, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. Gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on. And then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right. But we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked. And I caught her a few times making a mistake. And she tried to hurry up and play it off. You know, nobody's perfect. It's McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her. So all that animosity and that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative she's saying about, you know, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. That is crazy. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, you know, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't. Then one day she coming in there talking about some yeah, I broke my door in half and I had to pull my gun out on my kids and this and that. Well, telling us that, like, the you telling us you pulled a gun out on your kids for? You sound like a psychopath. That's what I wanted to tell her. She was talking about some, she blacked out. I'm like, yeah, you must have had blacked out if you pulled the gun out on your kids. Like, I'm like, what the you telling me this for? Like, she think she's like trying to make it seem like that she big dog or some. Give a about you telling me about you pulling the gun out on a kid. I don't like that doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? That doesn't scare me. If she thought she was trying to intimidate me, that didn't intimidate me at all. I don't give a about her telling me about what the she did. And maybe that's why they always fighting her, to defend themselves. They probably felt like their life was threatened. The out of here with that
So see, it sounds more like I don't want to call it a power struggle. It just sounds like somebody that just did not want to be told what to do, as if, even though she was the manager, she had no business. I guess when somebody holds a high position of authority, that becomes a problem. And you know what? And I blame Democrats for this, because when they keep pushing this oppression and being told what to do and holding you back, and then I guess they glorify the term, the words, like Uncle Tom and things like that. It gives these young black kids a reason to be defiant, to not follow instructions or to follow that hierarchy. Like there's a manager, the manager runs the show, and the manager would then, delegate, and the people that's working for that manager would go ahead and do what needs to be done. But it doesn't happen that way, because there's an attitude. They feel like they can do whatever they want. And it's pretty sad. And this is why, blacks are failing in every metrics. We're just failing badly. But let's be clear. Afeni Muhammad made a choice, a deadly one. And no matter how she felt, no matter what she claimed on social media, that choice cost a mother her life. There are always other paths, other resources. If she was battling mental health struggles, then the conversation should have been about counseling, about intervention, about seeking help, not picking up a knife. Let's not twist this into vindication. Jennifer Harris wasn't perfect, but being a demanding manager is not a capital offense. If Fanny felt mistreated, there was ways to speak up, to walk away, to ask for support. The responsibility to seek help ultimately lies with the individual, not the person. Not with the person that they're targeting now. And while yes, workplaces should be proactive about mental wellness, nothing justifies murder. And let me just say that, like I said, corporations are now investing more into mental health counseling. They are, and I see it with my own eyes. They are investing more time, and most of it is free. It's free, and so there's no excuse. And I don't know if McDonald's have this, but I think it's something that McDonald's should invest in, because it really helps. I think a lot of jobs should, because believe it or not, work can be very stressful. Work is cutthroat. It's very demanding. It's very brutal. There's a lot of expectations, and some of the expectations, sometimes you can't reach those expectations. It can be tough. And then work-life balance. You want that work-life balance, but sometimes some jobs ask for more. So you find yourself, basically at the job more than with the family. And so you leave the job, you come to home, and then you got your issues there. So yes, so corporations are investing more in mental health, and I think that's a good thing. And I think that more people really need to take advantage of that free resource that's out there for them. Okay? It's really a good thing. And I think even if you feel like you don't need it, sometimes you might just want to take advantage of it. It might do you some good. Okay? This isn't a story about justified rage, though. It's about lost perspective. Lost perspective. I get perceptive. Lost perspective. About a moment when choice turned into violence and a community lost someone because those other options were ignored. We cannot normalize this. We cannot soften it. It is what it is. This lady is a murderer. And no matter how much we try to bring in mental health or bullying and so forth, she made her choice. She made a bad choice. And she has to pay for it. You know? So let this be the message we carry forward. Accountability matters. And if we're going to change systems, uplift people, and protect lives, it starts with refusing to excuse the inexcusable. So, I don't know, but I really hope that she'll get the mental counseling that she needs, but it should be in prison because she's dangerous. She does not belong out here. I'm sorry to say. So I hope everybody has a great night. I'm happy because, as you can see, I have my Sith Lord hat because I love Star Wars. And I will be going to San Antonio, Texas, to see my favorite character, Darth Sidious from Star Wars. I know it's weird, but I think he's one of the best characters on Star Wars. So I can't wait to get his autograph. So we'll be going out there soon. And I'm going to start taking advantage of other places. I just came back from the Kennedy Space Center. It was all right. I expected a little bit more. I wanted to see like a telescope, but I will try to go to see a launch go off. And then I'm going to try to do some things that I've never done before. But I digress. You guys have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please remember, like, subscribe, and share this channel. And I will talk to you guys soon, okay?